Railroads in the 1860s were small-scale local enterprises. Early in the Civil War, Northern railroad executives were more concerned with profits than patriotism. Railroad executives continuously haggled with Army officers. Corruption in the rail industry prompted the enactment of the Railways and Telegraph Act in 1862, allowing the government to seize railroads to preserve public safety. Herman Haupt, once the chief engineer of the Pennsylvania Railroad, became chief of construction and transportation in the Virginia Theater of Operations. He also eventually attained the rank of brigadier general. Haupt's construction corps emphasized speed, rather than permanence, and his well-organized trains kept the Union Army supplied, and carried thousands of Union wounded to hospitals. Trains traveled 5 times faster than mule-drawn wagons, which reduced the number of supply vehicles required. Faster travel meant cargoes arrived at the front in better condition. Troops traveling by train experienced less fatigue. Railroads boosted logistical output by at least a factor of 10, having a profound impact on the outcome of the Civil War. When defeated, the Union Army, an army supplied by rail, could often be reinforced before its Confederate enemies, supplied by wagons, could exploit success. Confederate tactical victories seldom led to strategic gains. Haupt's nemesis was the Confederate raider John S. Mosby, who regularly attacked the railroads. A single stretch of track of the Orange and Alexandria Railroad connected the Union Army to the vast supply depots of Alexandria and Washington. At various times during the Confederate Army cut telegraph lines, tore up rail lines, and destroyed railway bridges in northern Virginia. Explosive devices planted in the roadbed posed serious threats to trains. Mines were often artillery shells with percussion fuses. Buried in the roadbed, mines would be detonated by a passing train. Mines, especially those using artillery shells, could lift locomotives off the tracks. Some federal commanders threatened to deport local inhabitants or destroy their farms if explosions occurred on rail lines adjacent to their property. Colonel Mosby's raiders were a constant danger to the railroads. In October 1864, a number of Alexandria's prominent citizens known to be Confederate sympathizers were forced to ride military trains as hostages. Commanders sometimes sent locomotives to reconnoiter the terrain and gain information on enemy troop dispositions. A lone locomotive could quickly reverse direction and move as fast as 60 miles per hour, far faster than pursuing cavalry. Locomotives were also useful as courier vehicles, an important advantage when Confederate raiders were cutting telegraph lines. Despite its flaws, and the best efforts of Confederate raiders, the Union Railroad system succeeded in making the trains run.